The ceiling of the 2024 Florida State Seminoles hinges on the performance of DJU. Now, Florida State is 83rd in returning production, according to Bill Connolly. And it's not surprising. They had an awesome team full of pro guys last year. They sent a lot of dudes to the draft. Now, that leaves a lot of questions for both sides of the ball on the field. Florida State has done a really good job in addressing some of those needs in the portal. They ranked number 4 or the portal class this year. They had 26 guys transfer out, 17 guys transfer in, and they addressed a lot of positions of need. They took 4 guys from Bama, who's like, once that Saban thing happened, everyone just seemed to flock to Florida State. So Mike Norvell did a fabulous job managing that there, and just the transfer portal in general, he has been very good. Their hit rate has been, phenomenal. They got Roy Dell Williams to try to replace Trey Benson. They got Marvin Jones Jr. from Georgia to replace Jared Verse. So, a lot of the guys that were really important last year, they're trying to fill an immediate need for this year in the 2024 season. Now, the past couple of years, they've been hovering around like the 20th ranked recruiting class. I think last year they were actually got themselves up to like number 12 according to On3. But, they've been a top 20 recruiting team for the past three years or so. So they have a pretty solid team, and especially in the ACC. Now they're co-favorites to win the ACC, so they can repeat. Like it's very, it's very easy for them. Not easy. They have a good path to repeat as ACC champions because of their talent roster and because of the lack of depth in the ACC. Now they have a pretty light start to their season. They start with Georgia Tech, BC, Memphis, and Cal. But that's pretty much it. The rest of their schedule is actually pretty tough. They go back to back with at SMU, so traveling to Dallas, and then they host Clemson next weekend. So, SMU is a dark horse in the ACC. I don't know if like this year that they're going to be, at the top of the conference, but they certainly can be within the next 3 or 4 years, and they do have a good enough team to cause some havoc this year. So they go to Dallas, and then next week they host Clemson, a game that went to overtime last year in Death Valley, and that game is circled on both Clemson and Florida State's schedule this year. So that's going to be a tough 2-week stretch. And then they got a 3-week stretch of where they go at Miami, host UNC, and then at Notre Dame. And then they end with a game against Florida. So they have a pretty tough schedule. Again, they're at one of the top talent composites for roster wise in the ACC. So it's always within their reach to compete for the title there. But they do have a pretty tough schedule to go do that. How far will DJU be able to take them? I think we know what we're going to expect from DJ. He's not going to be, a Joe Burrow getting out there slinging 60-yard touchdown passes, putting up 50 points a game. I think we have a big enough sample size of DJ to know what to expect from him. Now, there's been, some, concerns over spring football. I'm not going to read too much into that because, truthfully, I know what we're going to get from DJ. Maybe average to, above average, and will be, kind of reliable, but might not be the guy to take you to the next level. And that's what I'm curious about how Florida State is approaching this year. I'm wondering, because of the quarterback, they got Luke Romanchek, who's coming up, who they have a lot of faith in. They want to rely on him. Is this going to be kind of a stopgap for them as they enter into 2025? Are they approaching this to like, all right, we got a pretty solid team. Let's try to stay relevant as we can with the top teams, be in that conversation. But deep down, we know, hey, maybe like a national title is not really within our reach with who we got here. That might be how they're kind of approaching this year with DJ. They can take it now, though. They can win the conference this year. So like that's still on the table. The national title, I think, is a bit of a stretch. But, they do have a lot to work with. Their O-line will be very veteran. They're pretty much all going to be 4th and 5th year seniors. So a lot of experience up front. Wide receiver, they graduated some guys like Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. So those guys are out. So you got to hope that either Hakeem Williams or Malik Benson transfer, they pop off at receiver, which they can. Defense has some questions as well with the returning production, but they're hoping some of the portal moves will help with that. So I think DJU will be a good fit for them. I just don't know if he's going to take them to the next level and then into the conversation where they were last year. Like, if they were last year, they would have been a playoff team. So we'll see. Like the video, follow Big Body Ball on all channels on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Big Body Ball, CFB. Like and follow.